Hello everybody, Richard here from Janus Motorcycles, and today we want to do a parts talk on our new Sargent seats for the Halcyon 450. If you're familiar with our Halcyon line, we've been making the seats essentially the same way since all the way back to our Halcyon 50, the first little 50cc two-stroke we made. And that involves, I'll just show you real quick here, a seat pan, just like, and this is just like on the new the Sargent, but basically there's a seat pan, and on the 250 there's a piece of black neoprene foam that goes on there, and then it's covered with a very one-dimensional piece of leather that actually basically work forms to the shape of your seat. So on the 250, we install this here, and it basically just slips over the seat pan and that black neoprene foam. It's available, and this is actually a wide line seat cover. We have the standard seat, which is what this foam is cut for, and we have the wide line, which features a double kind of like little extra cushioning pads as well. But it's essentially, again, it's a flat kind of two-dimensional thing that then we stretch over the seat. It forms, especially like when you first get it, it's going to look a little awkward, but once you start riding the bike, it then forms and creates that wonderful kind of patina and fitment that makes the 250 look, and the 50cc look the way they do. However, when we moved to the 450, we decided that we really wanted a seat that had more of a three-dimensional contour that really held the rider in one spot and provided longer distance comfort. And if you're a motorcyclist, you know most stock motorcycle seats are not great. They're not the most comfortable thing in the world. So that's often one of the first things that motorcyclists, especially if longer distance motorcyclists, are going to upgrade. And one of the first places you're going to turn, I ride an old KLR. KLR seats are notoriously uncomfortable. And so my KLR has a Sargent seat. So it's an aftermarket seat that provides longer distance comfort. There's a lot of factors that go into the seat comfort on a motorcycle. And the primary one is that motorcycle seats, it's not like a car seat where you have all this surface area to distribute your weight and to provide better comfort. Typically motorcycle seats are about, yay wide, and they have to pack all that comfort into this very small and often not ideal package. And so we were kind of at an advantage with the Halcyon because of this solo seat shape. It's a lot wider than some similar motorcycles. And actually for the 450, we widened it up even more and made it larger. So it's an all-around larger seat. And on top of that, it features Sargent Seats proprietary foam, which is a multi-stage foam that they've specifically developed for use on high-end aftermarket seats to provide greater comfort for long-distance riding. So we'll talk a little bit about that, and then also the cover itself, which a lot of design has gone into, and it needs to be much more complex because of the nature of the actual upholstery that's going on here rather than the flat, just sewn up leather that is on our 250. So we started working with Sargent about, over probably almost 2 years ago. And we started working through the rough idea of the seat we wanted. We sent them a lot of photographs of kind of precedents that we were looking at for seats. And finally, we did a lot of sketching, photographs with markups on them. And finally, they took, this is a prototyping foam. It's not production, you're not designed to sit on. It's rather for sculpting. And so they obviously put this grid line on here, and they shaped this. And then we were able to kind of test fit this, sit on it, see how it felt, and make some adjustments. A lot of the adjustments we have specifically with this seat was one of the reasons we wanted to update the seat for the 450 is the tank to seat interface, making that smoother, making it more contoured, as well as adding this real lip around the back that really holds the rider in place. So they worked. It's been a pleasure to work with them. They really are the industry standard when it comes to aftermarket comfort. One of the features of their seat that really adapts itself to their technology that adapts itself to our seat shape is that you see here there's this concave dip, and we've always not been able to, on the 250, to curve the back up very well because it kind of like creates this pocket right here. And so what they have is this system called an aplex seam. And well, here, this is the prototype. Let me show you the actual production. This is the production seat foam from Sargent. You see it has our part number in there, everything, Solo 1, and it perfectly fits the, I'm going to trade all these parts around here. It perfectly fits the seat pan. So you can see the seat pan will just sandwich right in there. No movement, perfect fit. But if I remove this piece of paper here, it's actually just a backer. And they have a whole process where they do that. But you peel this back, and it reveals here we go. It reveals essentially a Velcro. You have to use a knife and pull that off, but there's a Velcro seam all the way across here, and then we sew in to the seat cover Velcro, the female side to that Velcro, and it fits it down and perfectly fits. You can actually hear it there. And so this is the part we get from Sargent, and then the seat cover itself. For the seat cover, we wanted, again, this is I kind of define the differences. This is upholstered, and this is kind of like harness leather work, because it's again a 2D flat pattern that gets sewn and then it forms, it kind of use forms, whereas this is sewn. If we can actually open up a bag here. Got my whole show and tell for you. This, we work with a company called Eric Scott. They're located in St. Louis, Missouri. They supply the leatherwork and upholstery for many of the heritage brands in the country. Big name, extremely high quality luggage, motorcycle seats, and big name motorcycle brands that you may have heard of also get their saddlebags and stuff from them. So they are the industry kind of standard of quality, made in America leatherwork. On the inside you can see that aplex, the female side of the Velcro, which will then adhere to the seat foam, which we put on the seat cover. So again, you can really see right now the three-dimensional quality of this. This is not 2D. It's very carefully formed and stitched to provide a perfect fit here on our 450. And you can really, I mean, we're just so proud of this seat, the way it looks, the way it feels. This is a seat that you can ride many, many miles on in a lot of comfort. Having done some very long rides on a 250 standard seat, I can tell you that it's a great seat for scooting around town. They're surprisingly comfortable, even on a hardtail bike. But when we moved to the 450, this is a bike that's, as we've said from the get-go, kind of one of the design briefs was highway capable. This is a bike that we kind of anticipate people doing a little bit longer riding on than on the 250. It's kind of more designed for, again, highway, faster traffic, or at least the ability to do that. So we wanted the seat to really live up to the same standard as the increased power plant on the 450. So we're very pleased with it. This is our saddle brown leather. We have the 450 is available in this, our saddle brown, which it's really one of my favorite colors. It's also kind of an upgrade. I believe now on the 250s as well, this is our standard leather for the kind of brown color. The reason we like it is not only the finish, but the grip it provides. This is not a slippery leather. You're not going to slide around. It's got a nice kind of almost like Suzuki Katana had a shark skin kind of feel, a seat that really provides good grip. great for a motorcycle seat. We've had a lot of also experience with this leather and how it ages and breaks in. It's going to get a fantastic patina over time and will stand up to weather and repeated treatment. So it's a great leather. It's also, the 450 is also available with black leather. It's also made by Eric Scott, also goes over the Sargent seat, so that you have those two options. Whereas on the 250, I think we have black, kind of a oxblood redwood, as we call it, and our saddle brown, just like this. So we do not have the 450 available in a oxblood kind of reddish color at this time. We're sourcing different kinds of leather. One of the most difficult parts of this seat was the sourcing of this brown leather, and I'll just because it's been such a ordeal, I'll talk about it a little bit. This is the same leather we use for the saddlebags, and we wanted, and the battery caps. We wanted it to really match perfectly. However, it's a really heavy, very high quality leather, and it's perfect for saddlebags, but it's not ideal for upholstery because it's so thick, and you want a thinner leather. So we actually had Eric Scott do it's called skiving, and you basically go around with a skiving knife. It's a machine that thins the leather out in that specific area. So if you see, I don't know if we can actually see it on here, probably not as easily, but they have skived, yeah, actually we can. They've skived all the joints. So you can actually see that this is quite a bit thinner here. It doesn't reduce the strength at all, but it maintains a really wear-resistant seat with the ability to do what upholstery leather is, a thinner leather, with the ability to form this like upholstery leather. So it's really the best of both worlds, and we've gone to great lengths and had a really awesome experience working with Eric Scott on that process. And we're really proud of these seats. So if you're getting a 450, either the saddle brown or black seats, a great deal of design has gone into them, and a lot of really awesome American craftsmanship. So we're very proud of them. Well, thank you very much for watching. This has been a parts talk on our 450 seats. We look forward to putting many miles on these and getting your feedback. So please consider subscribing if you haven't already to our channel. You'll get more regular updates and more parts talks where we walk through different parts of the bike or different service tasks, etc. And we look forward to sharing more videos with you. Thanks a lot.